Hello, Internet. Welcome to another issue of the Ghostlight Social, the show where we bring creative people into your living room of an evening during this lockdown period.
How are you, Mike?
I'm quite calm.
Why are you calm?
No, I'm just giving away a false sense of calmness. No, I'm genuinely, I'm all right.
I will introduce the lovely Rebecca Ryan. Hello, Rebecca. Lovely to see you.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to see you. And Mr. Matt Ganley, how we doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, it's a bit of a scary time. Yeah, I mean, I finished Casualty last year, which was the last job that I was.
Was it last year? Was it last year? Was it?
Yeah, it was last year. So it's just been a bit of a funny year, really.
How long were you in Casualty?
I was in for about 2.5 years.
Oh, blimey. Okay.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, yeah, it does, doesn't it? I was only actually meant to be in for 6 months. I was only going in for a character for 6 months, and then was lucky enough to be asked to come back for a year, and then another year after that. So I mean, I can't complain, seeing as I was only supposed to be there for 6 months, and I got 2.5 years out of it.
So look, I don't watch Casualty. Do you watch Casualty, Mike?
Charlie left, didn't he? And that wasn't the reason why I stopped watching, but
it was.
He's the only character I recognised.
So you don't watch it? Is the answer?
He's still there, by the way.
Is he? I thought he'd gone.
Yes.
No, he's still there, so you could watch it.
That's how much I watch Casualty.
You can go back to it. There you go.
I'm so glad my background's pink and you can't see how much I'm blushing at that really rubbish bit of information.
So because I don't watch it, did they kill you off? Did you die?
No.
Spoilers.
No, they didn't kill me off. They didn't kill me off. I went to Thailand.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I went to Thailand after I had a little dalliance with a doctor that was there called Brash, and he went travelling to Thailand. So I went over to Thailand to see him, but then in the next few episodes he came back and I'm still in Thailand, so
And is that so the story is you're still in Thailand? Okay, so there is an option to go back at some point if necessary, if needed.
Oh, hopefully, yeah, I would definitely love to.
So how are you?
I'm really well, thanks, mate. I'm pretty not much 90% sure that without obviously getting the official test that I had coronavirus.
Oh, really?
So this was after this was the week out. It started the week after the first week, because we did 1 week of rehearsals for Jungle Book, and then on the Monday I had literally all the symptoms came flooding in: breathlessness, sweat, temperature, all that stuff. I lost my taste, lost my smell. I was getting short of breath, and and it's lasted about 3.5 weeks. Yeah, just sort of been getting on with things with that in the background, which has been all right because I like to think I'm relatively fit and healthy. So I've been able to handle it okay. It turns out in hindsight that I was in contact with someone the previous week who had it. Yeah, I was just glad that I was able to stay at home and just chill and just take it easy. So it's been a bit of a weird, been a weird month.
Wow. Oh well, if you have had it, I'm certainly glad that you're through it and we're talking now. That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
But it must be nice to be at home, because these days you spend your nights sleeping rough on the moors and stuff, don't you? I mean, that's your back these days, isn't it?
You know, mate, honestly, I'm a bit addicted. I'm a bit addicted to it. I've got quite a compulsive personality anyway, and so I latch onto things. At the moment, it's Scrabble. It's online Scrabble. I can't stop playing Scrabble, right?
I saw you up there.
Oh, you're on it. Rebecca, we need a game.
I'm not playing either.
I am very, very, very good.
I'm not so good.
But yeah, with the camping stuff, with the wild camping, it's oh man, it's honest to God. When I first did it, I just got the bug instantly, and so I imagine that in a couple of months' time, I'll really start to miss it. I was supposed to be doing the coast to coast walk in a couple of weeks, but obviously that's not happening now. So I'm going to wait till September, hopefully, if I can do it in September to do that.
Because you're raising money doing that, aren't you? What are you raising money for?
Raising money for the Booth Centre, which is a homeless charity in Manchester. Amazing homeless charity in Manchester.
Let's jump into a couple of questions. The first one is our isolation playlist.
Well, I am obsessed. You probably know this from our Beryl tour. Not only am I obsessed with Westlife, obviously, it goes without saying, anything Westlife. But I am a huge, huge, huge country music fan. And I'm gutted, actually, because they were supposed to go to country this year in the O2 Arena with, amazing artists. So I'm gutted.
Did you get tickets, or did they just...
Yeah.
I
got tickets and everything, but they've rescheduled now for next year, so gutted. But I've actually been listening to a lot of Garth Brooks. Do you want one song in particular?
Yeah, well, yes, please.
Okay, let's go for Standing Outside the Fire by Garth Brooks.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, it's a cracker.
Excellent. That will go straight on. I'll be listening to that tomorrow. Why that one in particular?
It's just got it's a good sort of beat. It makes me feel happy.
It's a happy song.
Good vibes.
Toe tapper.
A toe tapper. Okay. What was it? Just while we're on songs, what was the? So I was talking at the end of the episode on Monday about your TikTok. Have you seen that TikTok that she's done, Matt?
I've not, mate.
When she's lip syncing.
Oh man, show me, send it me.
I'm new to TikTok. That was the first TikTok I've ever done, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And Dan, if you know Dan, he doesn't like anything like that. And you put the camera near him, and he's like, "Go away! Don't put me near the camera." So I thought I had to do it sneakily. So I was sat next to him on the sofa. I thought, I'm going to do it to Dan. So I sat next to him on the sofa and I just put the camera to where he could see him. And the song just goes, piss me off, fucking jerk, get on nerves. As soon as I saw his face, because I could see it through the camera, and he started laughing. He didn't know what was going on. And then that made me laugh. And then we were gone.
Brilliant. Honestly, watch it forever. What have you got for us? I'm expecting something supreme.
Paul Simon.
Oh, well.
50 Ways to Leave Your Lover.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. All right.
So me and my family on WhatsApp are doing a 30-day music challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a Paul Simon novice. I know I'm familiar with Graceland, but all of his other stuff, I'm brand new to. So my mum posted for the day that it was a song that you like with a number in it. That's the one that she shared. And since she shared it, all day I've been listening to it today. And I kind of think, it resonates with the isolation theme, with your partner. You might want to listen to, when we can go outdoors, you might want to listen to it and heed the advice. So, a bit grim.
When we're talking about the 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, then I was nodding quite heavily. And I had to stop myself because I thought, if my wife watches this, she'll be like, you nodded quite a lot.
You know what, though? It is just a great song. In terms of, production, songwriting, everything.
Them two are both being accepted into the...
have.
Are you putting another one in?
Well, I'll tell you this. I woke up this morning with a particular song in my head. And I posted it on Twitter, and a couple of people have said, you need to put this in your isolation playlist.
What's it?
It was the theme song to Prisoner Cell Block H.
Oh, yeah, I know. I read that. Well, it might go. I'm going to put a little star next to it because I do have a soft spot for that song. What is the most Well, you've had the coronavirus, but apart from that, what's the most coronavirus thing you've done?
Damn, my answer was have coronavirus.
I think you could probably have that.
I think everyone at the moment is accepting that drinking is all right. We're all sort of in a silent agreement that this is what's expected, right? However, you get into a sort of, I'm nearly 37 now, so I can't be doing this all the time. And so I've sort of developed this routine of where, in order to buy a bargaining chip for a glass of this every night, I have to do some exercise in the day. So I'll either go for a run or lift some weights in the garden, just so I can excuse a few beers.
And
Can I just say, Rebecca,
huge...
I have a flashback to where were we? Where did we do the show? For those who don't know, we did Beryl, which was a tour.
Do you want me to just start naming them all? I mean, you're going to have to narrow it down a little bit. We did them in a lot.
It was quite a few.
But the point of what I was saying was that, to be fair to Rebecca, like, we were all sort of drinking, but Rebecca was like, you were out with us, like, you were out with the bet. You were probably the last out, to be fair. So here's to you.
And also, I very distinctly remember being in Chesterfield, where we went into that bar, and then the manager came over and gave us a load of, was it drinks tokens or just free drinks? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was tokens. I'm sure, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then sort of demanded that we did some pictures for his social media. And when I say we, me and Matt were just sort of hanging at the back.
Really shittily cropped out on his Facebook page.
Exactly.
Yeah, he photoshopped hair onto us.
Well, as we touched on before, I'm getting quite into TikTok now. I'd never really. I mean, I'd heard bits of it, but I'd never really know what it does. And then I kept seeing loads of videos, and like as the weeks went on, I was like, oh, there's quite a few funny videos on there, and I got sucked in. Yeah. I did it. I bit the bullet, and I thought, right, I'm going to see what all this is about, because so many people kept posting funny videos. I thought, right, I'm going to see what this is about. And God, the problem is, you could spend hours on there. Like, it's ridiculous.
My 10-year-old does spend hours on there.
Yeah, and it's so easily done. You just you look at the clock and you've been on it for about 5 hours, and you're just like, oh. I've made a few. None of them are as good. I think I peaked too soon with that one, to be fair. I keep having loads of really good ideas about what I'm going to do, like elaborate TikToks that I'm going to do, but I've not quite got round to filming them yet.
What, because of how busy you are? Because of
just so busy. Yeah. I'm rereading the Harry Potter books at the minute, so they're taking quite a lot of my time up. I forgot how good they were.
How many toilet rolls have you got in the house?
We've got one pack.
A pack? How big's the pack?
So what's say 9 in a pack?
Okay, so you've still got at least 10.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we know. So we didn't.
There's only 2 of you.
When we were running out, we were like, oh crap, there's things on the table. So we've kind of just been getting it as we go along, but we've been all right. We've been managing.
8.
Just
had to recount, because we bought a pack recently.
9 pack.
We've got 2 spare, a 6-pack, and then we've got 2 spare. So 8. I think that's all right, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's all right.
I don't know. Do you know what
Did that pass?
I don't know. I'm going to ask Mike again in a minute, because he had a significant amount of toilet rolls last time I spoke to him.
You don't want to wipe your ass with a sock, do you?
No.
You don't want to come to that.
Is that what you do when you're wild camping? Is that how that works?
I just do it with my hand and then wash my hand in rainwater. No, I'm joking. Yeah, wild camping. That's a totally different story altogether, because there's rules and regulations about where you've got to dig a hole and everything.
Bury it. How many monologues have you watched since lockdown?
How many None.
None at all.
Yeah, I think this question needs to drop out, because everybody the last few weeks has gone, I haven't watched any.
Matt, how many monologues have you watched?
0, mate.
0. Have you written any?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Mark Bernardin, who is an American TV show writer, and the other person was Ellie Taylor, I've mentioned before.
A comedian.
Very funny. So both of these people have said in the last week that this is a global crisis, not a writer's retreat.
Okay, interesting.
And because there's loads of people who just feel under pressure that they've now got this time off and are now thinking, I need to be productive. And I think this is where a lot of the monologues come from.
I feel like online at the moment is incredibly saturated with just everyone doing their thing. to varying degrees of reception and whatnot. My issue with the culture of this is the fact that as creatives, we create stuff and kind of crave for that response and that feedback. But in the same breath, we're kind of not willing to give the same care and attention to other people's work, you know. And so what can end up happening, especially if you're producing work independently, and I've caught myself doing it many a time over the past month, is I just sort of see other people doing stuff and I don't even bother watching it, but I'm creating stuff and I have a weight of expectation that people are going to watch it for one thing. But if I'm not giving the same, you know, if I'm not giving the same energy to other people who are spending the time to create stuff, then why should I expect to get the same?
When you're creating this stuff, first of all, who's it for? Is it really for anybody, or is it for yourself? And if it's for yourself, you know, that's fine. That's okay. If that's the case, you know, exactly what you've just said. Are you giving? What are you giving in return? Are you supporting other people? You go into a theatre and you make a piece of work and then you share it with an audience. You do it because you're going to share it with an audience, because people are going to sit there and they're either going to enjoy it or not, whatever. And when you do it online, it's not quite the same thing. Who is that audience? And it probably ends up being other creatives. And in which case, it is not the same thing as what we do when we get into a rehearsal room. And what do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a totally different audience, isn't it? When you show into fellow creatives than just Joe Public.
To sort of elaborate on the point of who are you doing it for, but also like why are you doing it? Like, I don't think enough people ask that question of themselves. Why are you producing? Yeah. Why are you doing what you're doing and putting it out there? I know that I love positive attention about something creative I've done. I love to get comments going. I love that, Matt. That was funny. That was this. That was that. And sometimes if I don't get that, then it kind of, I go, oh, hang on a minute. Why should I expect anyone to give me the time of day?
I think then it becomes less about the work and more about the comments and the likes and the...
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it ends up not being about what you originally intended it to be. It's now about how many likes you get, how many comments you get, how many positive comments you get, how many negative comments you get, and it's all surrounded by that instead of the actual piece itself.
And if you give that importance, that feedback and that response too much importance, your relationship to the work ends up changing and not necessarily for the better. So, I don't know, be happy with just producing what you want to produce. I love that quote that someone once said, which is, someone else's opinion of me is none of my business.
Yes, that's such an important thing. That was the key to my kind of recovery bit, was that. Absolutely. Sorry, I got really excited over that little bit there.
I wouldn't go on stage. I wouldn't do something if I didn't think I was giving it my all. So, I'm just the kind of person who I don't need people. It's nice when it happens, but I don't need people to tell me, because I know I'm just sharing work. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I have no control over that. And I think that's our little control. Yeah. Blimey, that got a bit heavy for a minute, didn't it?
I don't just want to plod through the questions all the time. I like this. This is the bit which is exciting, isn't it? For me.
Plod through the questions. Are you suggesting I plod through the questions?
No, but
what are you saying, Mike?
It's one of those, isn't it, where, it's fine.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's plod through a couple more questions, shall we? In the last 48 hours, how many units of alcohol?
Zero. I had the only time I've drank was I did a Zoom party with my friends, and we had a little drink there. I'm quite happy to just get up and dance. I don't feel like I need it. And I don't like the taste of alcohol. I don't enjoy it. But although in saying that, well, I love cake.
Because you quite like a little slice of cake.
I cake all day, every day. I mean, three course Ryan is what Dan calls me.
Quite like an ice cream as well, as I remember.
Any form of dessert, I am there. No question.
That was in that cafe, which is round just by the stage door in Scarborough. I'm sure that's where that was.
Yes, you might. Yeah.
I'm sure that's where that was.
I could eat that right now.
I know, it looks amazing. And then I was going to show that, but Matt's back. He keeps disappearing.
Sorry, fellas. Sorry, guys.
I was just showing, because I know that Rebecca doesn't drink particularly. I was just showing pictures of the things that she does like to overindulge in. the cake and I found, as I was going through, I found that picture. Oh,
I love that. I love that. That stuff on the tour.
And look at me with my little jeans and my little.
Look at your little shoes, mate.
My little shoes.
You look like you got about size 5 shoes. I had 3/4 of a bottle of red wine last night to an IPA, a bottle of IPA. But I was done. To be honest with you, mate, last night was particularly sort of. I got overexcited, to be honest, and I woke up this morning. I sort of paid the price for it this morning. I have periods where I don't drink for life. Your experience of daily life is so different. I mean, your awareness and your focus just becomes massively heightened, and my memory and I mean everything sort of cognitive based is just massively improved by not drinking. I mean, any time I can sort of excuse it or give myself a reasonable excuse, like there's a pandemic. Whatever, right? But on a serious note, I do recognise how beneficial it is to knock it on the head, even if it's just for a bit, you know.
A really lovely moment in your career that you remember that was brilliant, or will always stick, and you.
Well, it's a hard one, really. I mean, I've to be honest, I've been extremely lucky in my career. There's no doubt about that. And I think because I started so young, like I did Shameless when I was 11, and I did that all the way up till I was just turning 18. And I feel like that was an incredible experience. Like, you know, that was absolutely amazing. But I think because I was so young, I probably didn't appreciate it like I would do now if that came along again. For me, it was just like, oh, wow, this is great. You know, having a great time going in, seeing everyone, and everyone was so lovely to me. And I was like the baby of the family, and everyone looked after me. And I just think that was like it was like a little treat for me just to go in, have a good time, go home. And, you know, I didn't really think about it that much. And now when I look back, and a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of messages now at the moment saying people are rewatching old series and stuff like that, which is really nice. And then when I actually stop and think, I'm like, oh God, like I feel like that kind of whole experience has kind of passed me by a bit, and I've not really sort of took it all in. I like I say, I've been extremely lucky, and I've worked with some great people, including yourselves. I think the main thing for me when working on a job is the people that I meet and the relationships that you form. And it's really weird because you can be so close with people, and you're spending every day with the person, especially if you're on tour or in theatre. It's even more. You spend like day in, day out with that person. You're sharing dressing rooms. You're on stage with them all the time. You're in each other's pockets. And then it's kind of, as soon as that's over, it's kind of like gone. I mean, you still keep in touch every now and again, but it's not like you form these crazy bonds with people that elsewhere, sort of in the normal world, you don't really get to do. So I think that's really kind of exciting. You get to know people on a different sort of level than you would do normally.
Because I sort of grew up in my teenage years, my form of rebellion was being in rock bands. So that for me was, I've always had that those roots of music and playing music, and then the acting sort of came along a little bit later, and then that sort of took over. And so when I got to do Once, which is an acting music show that was at the Phoenix Theatre in London, that was a really special job, because just for that reason, really, I felt like the marriage of the two, the acting and the music, came together for me perfectly. And that part, really, as soon as I read the script, and this is not all, as you can all vouch for, this is not always the way. Sometimes you read a script and go, oh God, I'm going to have to work at that. But as soon as I read that script, I can do that. and I know I can do it, and it's mine. I just felt like it was mine to get, basically, without sounding like a twat. We did a thing called West End Live in Trafalgar Square in front of like 10, 15,000 people, and we went out and did like 3 songs from the show. And bearing in mind, I think we'd opened like a week, been up for about a week, just to be there, playing that music, playing the folk music that had so much balls and heart and guts and character in front of all these people who were just with us. That to me was the moment that I'll never forget. I remember just my body was shaking with adrenaline, and it was just a buzz. It was just a pure buzz. So I'll never forget that. So my character was a drummer, a heavy metal drummer, which sort of added a bit of comedy to the story. But apart from that, we added I played mandolin and guitar as well. Folk with a bit of like rock and roll soul as well, because at the start of the show, it's the whole stage is set up as a pub, and so the audience are invited on stage.
That's right.
And they can buy a drink from the bar while we have a jam. And because the story is about an Irish busker and a Czech immigrant, those two cultures fused, and so the music represented that. And some of those Czech folk songs, because I've always been familiar with the Irish stuff, but some of those Czech folk songs were just, it was just incredible. Just, great experience.
Fantastic. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. What do you think or hope that the industry will be when we eventually come out with this, what it might look like? And the second part of that is, what advice would you give?
I think there are a few practical things that are going to change. Possibly for the better in terms of like how we audition. I think this sort of setup will be more common potentially. But I'm very optimistic. I'm always optimistic about the acting profession, because like we say, we meet a lot of good people who have a lot of the right energy. Do you know what I mean? And especially when this is over and when we can finally get back to it, there's going to be such a thirst for theatre, for television, for all of that. I can't help but feel it would be like just a release for everyone. And I know that our industry has the individuals to be able to take that challenge on and to run with it and to collaborate. And I think people will be a lot more appreciative of what we do have. What I would say to anyone who was graduating now, who can't graduate, or is that it's the cliche, isn't it? Is that it's a marathon and not a sprint. When I look back to what I was like when I graduated drama school, I'm honestly unrecognisable to the person I am today, as far as my experience of what I thought, the industry was. I have learned the most stuff about what it takes to be a functioning working actor by getting out there and working. But that's taken years and years and years. I mean, for the first 5 years of acting, it was particularly a grind for me. If you love it, or if you don't love it, if you just really enjoy it, know that that's enough, and just keep on trucking. Because it's like, I always thought that when I left drama school, RSC, TV, so I had this like inflated image of what my career would be instantly, and it wasn't like that. And so you can't beat experience, and life will give you that experience, but there is a bit of patience required at the moment. I did Waterloo Road. I did a scene with you, didn't I, mate? In Waterloo Road. Yeah, back when I had hair. Yeah.
What were you playing?
Right, a school counsellor.
School counsellor, brilliant.
Yeah.
Had you forgotten about that, Rebecca? Or did you just have a little moment then?
No, because I can picture it. I can picture it in my, and we were in the classroom, yeah. I'm hoping that once this is all over, it's going to sort of be a nice big reset on the industry. I think exactly what Matt was saying, really. I think everyone's going to be really hungry and thirsty to get back out there, and hopefully there'll be, I know a lot of things that would normally be filming have stopped now, obviously, with everything's going on. So I think that everyone's going to be really sort of, hungry to get back out there, to get things on, to get new things out there, because obviously there'll be a lot of repeats and there'll be a lot of things that are not being made, so there's nothing to put out there. So I think I'm hoping anyway, that there'll be a good surge of new things coming up. So I'm hoping it's going to be an exciting time for for actors and everyone in the industry, really. You said before I didn't go through the acting school route. I love acting. I kind of fell into it. Really, I mean, my two brothers, my older and younger brother, are both actors, both brilliant actors, and they both went to drama school. And sort of learnt the craft and did it that way. It was something that I was never really interested in doing. And I think because Charlie, my older brother, he basically, how it all started, he got a part in a drama called State of Play that was on the BBC. And they were casting for a little sister for him. And his agent said, oh, they've not cast a little sister for you, that they're still looking. And he kind of said, well, I've got a little sister who acts. I hadn't really done anything before. And they said, okay, well, we'll audition you together and see how you are. So they came up, auditioned, and I got the part. Paul Abbott, who was the writer of that, also wrote Shameless. And he sort of said, oh, I'm writing a new thing. I'd like you to come and audition for it. And sort of that's how I got into acting. And then just absolutely loved it, and I wouldn't be doing anything else now. I don't know if I hadn't got into it that way if I would have stuck to that path, but now I couldn't think now of doing anything else. Now that I'm in it, I know with my two brothers, that's all they wanted to do from day one, and they did everything in their power to make that happen and to go through the channels to make that happen, whereas I was very lucky enough, and I think as well because I was so young, also not really realizing, thinking, oh yeah, I'll do that, yeah, why not? So I never really got the chance, like even at school, because I was filming. I thought, well, I'll kind of just study drama, and because that's what I'm doing anyway. I'm already sort of in the career, and I absolutely love what I do. So I never really sort of put my mind to focus on anything else because I was already kind of doing it. That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Were you, so when you did drama at school, what were those moments when you were sort of watching your tutor and sort of going, bullshit, that's not what it's like at all?
No, I mean in school, the 5 years at school, I worked out that I was in probably about 2.5 years because of the time I had off.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of felt the opposite when I was in drama school. When I was in school in the drama lessons, I always felt a bit conscious because I never ever really wanted people to sort of say, probably this was in my own head, but people to say, oh, she thinks she's great and she knows it all. So I just kind of sat back and just did. I wasn't really very forward in any of the lessons or anything like that. I kind of just sat back and did. And
so did you disappoint your drama teachers?
I mean, possibly.
I'm asking, did you get good marks? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I got good marks on the practical side. I was a bit lazy, see, with the writing side. Just keep going, because if this is what you want to do, there is going to be times, no matter how well you do, no matter how well your career is going, there will be times where you've got a long period of time or longer than you would like out of work, and there is nothing you can do about it. Everyone has their own opinion on everyone, and don't get sucked in. I think people can get sucked into that too much and sort of rely on other people's opinions of things a bit too much. And you've just got to be confident in your own ability, confident in yourself, and it will pay off, I think.
It never ceases to amaze me, especially in theatre, the type of things that people notice. So when we did, I know you came to see it, Matt, just before you started at Oldham. So we did 4 minutes, 12 seconds Twitter, which was just a Twitter, somebody that had come to see it. The thing that they pointed out, they loved it, they said, but the thing that they pointed out was that Joe wasn't folding the towels properly.
Yeah,
unbelievable, man. Hey, can I just say, by the way, that was such a good show, man. It was basically like if you can imagine like a theatrical Black Mirror, it was like an episode of Black Mirror on stage, genuinely thought-provoking. Yeah. Genuinely thought-provoking. I think that's very rare with it.
Look, guys, thank you so much for coming on and chatting. So lovely to see you both. Stay well. In many respects, Matt, I hope you have had it, because it means you're not going to get it again. Fingers crossed. And you just stay safe, Rebecca. I don't want you to get it at all. Just
oh no, thank you.
Stay wrapped up and tight, and just eat lots of cake.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've got the cake sorted.
Thanks, guys. Good night. God bless. Feel free to log off if you want to. Feel free to stay if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you.
I need a wee, so I'm going to log off.
Much love to both of you. See you later.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you guys. Nice one.
Bye.
Well, how good was that?
Very good. Really.
Yeah.
And we've got actor, director, writer Rhys Dinsdale coming on. We've also got musician Mitch Thompson. So I'm very excited about that.
Just show the guitars on my wall, because yours get shown every week, and I wanted to show.
What do you mean mine? I've only got one. It's there.
There's all mine. And the artwork I keep mentioning that I wanted to show off. So there's some Chris Bircham comic book art up there. There's the guy who did Cheryl's tattoo in the middle there. He's done a portrait. I forgot his name. Yeah. So there you go. I just wanted to show that. As we said, join us Monday, join us Wednesday, live on YouTube at 8 o'clock, where we're going to be talking creatively to creative people. Very much, everybody. I'm going to remember to do the end credits this week. Adios from the bunker.